Hi everyone, this is Tim from the Positively Charged podcast. The purpose of this podcast is going to be for us to look at some practical and directly applicable ways of enhancing the quality of our lives and to remain as positively charged as we can. So I've decided to do this podcast on goal setting. And so I spent the last few weeks really looking at the essence of goals. One of the reasons that goals work is that the outcome is identified but also focused upon every day, because one of the main things about having goals is to look at them every day and really focus on them. This daily focus, it keeps the goal at the forefront of our conscious mind, but also the repetition gets it right in the back of our brains into the subconscious. If you remember back at school, I don't know if you were one of the people that got lines off your teacher for being a bit naughty, but I was certainly occasionally one of those people, and through writing something out as inane as it may have been, I still years later remember some of the things that I wrote out just through that repetition. The subconscious will automatically look for events and opportunities that are stepping stones on the way to achieving the outcome of our goal and guide us towards following them. So the subconscious thinks in pictures, which is why visualizing our goals is so important. A picture says 1,000 words, and with the right pictures we can really positively influence the subconscious. So once you've set a goal, the idea is to really engage yourself with the goal, not just mumble your way through reading them, but when you look at the goal, really visualize that the outcome has already happened. And the power in that is that the subconscious has no concept of time. So if you actually see that as being completed, you are literally bringing it closer into your reality. As well as visualizing it, if you can engage as many of the other senses as possible, this is also going to bring the goal infinitely closer to you. So how would you feel once the goal has been completed? And with certain goals, what can you hear? So for example, if one of your goals is to be on a tropical island having a great holiday, and what sounds can you hear? Can you smell the ocean? What can you see? And how do you feel emotionally? What's the benefit of you being on that tropical island, for example? So if you look at life from an energy viewpoint, like attracts like, and if you're into the law of attraction or the principle of ask and it's given, our vibration naturally attracts events and circumstances of a corresponding vibrational nature. So we actually get what we are corresponding to vibrationally. The asking is actually a question of our vibrational level. So we attract into our life what we are a vibrational match to. So when we infuse our goals with as much energy as we can, engaging as many of our senses as we can, this really does bring us so much closer to the outcome that we desire in an energy way. We're all born with desire, and the word desire comes from two words: de, which is of or from, and sire, which is father. So pick goals that tap into our natural desire, something that you really, really want, and it has to inspire you. The word inspire coming from inspirato, which is in spirit. As you start to think about what goals you'd like to achieve, how you would like to enhance your life and the lives of other people, remember that the whole purpose behind this is happiness, because whatever we strive for in life, It's to change the way that we feel. So whether it be an external goal that we're going for, whether it be a new car, new house, anything on the material side of things, or anything on the internal side of things. I want less stress, better emotional health, for example. It's all geared towards us getting more happiness. So don't lose sight of that in the attaining of the goals. Make your goals fun, because certainly to me, if a goal feels like hard work and I'm not inspired by it, I'm probably not going to last the course with it. Another really important factor with goals is don't let any of your present circumstances limit the scope of your goals. So if you look around you and you might see the area that you live in, or the car you drive, the house that you live in, the relationships that you have, don't look at them and think to yourself, well, this is me. One of the things about goals is having the dreams that you had. When you were a kid, nothing was impossible, was it? You used to dream about being all kinds of things, and there was never that internal dialogue, that voice inside saying, you can't do this because. And we have to really feel that we deserve the outcome of our goal. This can be traced back to our beliefs about ourselves, what we deserve. And this is controlled by our paradigms, as in our beliefs, often subconscious, which are influenced first by our parents, then by our peer groups at school, and then society, media on a daily basis. So, for example, if you subconsciously don't believe that it's actually possible for you to be a millionaire, maybe it's down to your parents' attitude towards money, or what money represents to you, what you think someone of your social status can be expected to earn. Or maybe it's just a lack of information about the nature of abundance or how to generate money. Or maybe you need to work on your self-image, that inner voice that says, I don't deserve that level of happiness, or I don't deserve that personal freedom that that amount of money can bring. In order to attain any of your goals, at the back of your mind, you really have to believe that you're worthy of them. If you don't believe that you deserve to achieve your goal, you'll find some way of stopping yourself. You'll find a way of either getting in your own way, or procrastinating, or blaming circumstances. Whatever outcome it is that you're after achieving, you really, deep down, have to believe that you deserve it. Okay, so on to the goals themselves. How many goals should you set? Well, I suggest take some time out and write down as many exciting and inspiring goals as you can think of. I myself came up with 30, and I split them up into short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. And I split them up into different categories. So the categories that I came up with were to do with spirituality, physicality, and emotions. So the main categories to think about could be your health, relationships, your personal growth and development, your well-being and happiness, and the well-being and happiness of your friends and family, your contribution to society. What do you want to do? What's your legacy that you want to leave? Where do you want to travel? What car would you drive if you could drive any car? Whereabouts would you live if you could live anywhere? How many homes would you have? And what roles do you have in life? Are you a daughter or a son, a mother, a father, or a brother, or a sister, or a friend to someone? How can you improve at all the roles in your life? We all learn, we all do, and we all teach. How can you teach better? How can you demonstrate better? And how can you learn more effectively? Another aspect to think about is that there are two different ways of writing goals down. One is an accumulative one, so every day I will, and then insert the goal that is a daily thing that you want to focus on to increase each day. So it might be every day I will be closer to achieving my target weight. Every day I will visit the gym. Every day I will spend X amount of time exercising, or a certain amount of time learning new self-development material, whatever it is with you. And the second way is to have a time frame. It's very important to be specific with this. I heard of someone writing, next month I will have X amount of money, but of course next month never comes. So it's very important to be specific. So two of my goals, for example, are every day I will do Pilates, have my supplements, drink 3 litres of water, and work on my spiritual, emotional and physical health. A time frame goal of mine is by December the 31st, 2015, I will be physically fit, toned and pain-free. So I'm specific about the day, the month and the year. So with my timescale goals, I've decided to have short-term, mid-term and long-term goals. The short-term goals are for within the end of this year, 2015, and some are actually within that year after 6 months or so. The mid-term goals are for after 3 years, and my more long-term goals are for 5 years. Some people do a 10-year time frame, but I'm doing it at a 5-year. So with every single goal, I recommend first of all writing your goals down one at a time, followed by a paragraph on why you actually want to achieve that goal. Take the time to really think about what it means to you and how it will impact your life. And writing a paragraph for each goal is really stating your reasons why you want to achieve this goal, what it will give you. Really brings it to life. It's so powerful. Also remember that aside from your happiness and fulfillment in achieving the outcomes of your goals, a major benefit of setting goals is the person that you become as a result of the development, the changes, the journey that you go through to attain the outcomes of your goals. All those attributes that you develop, you can look at yourself and you can gauge the changes in your life, and you can be proud of yourself for doing everything that you can in every area to have a better quality of life for you and for your loved ones. And that really impacts upon your self-image and your positivity, because positivity is something that needs to be worked on a daily basis. It's an attitude of mind. It's not something that you just study in a book occasionally. It's a way of looking at the world which manifests itself as a physical vibration, energy-wise. And you can always pick up on that when you meet someone. People talk about, they had a good vibe or a bad vibe, or even with rooms, some people will walk in and they'll go, I don't like the vibe in here. And we all live in an energy universe, and what we focus on expands energy-wise. So be careful what you let into your subconscious energy-wise. Be careful what you watch on TV and films. I don't know about you, but some of the energy of some of these new horror films I find quite disturbing. I really stay away from them because my energy, my positive energy is something that I guard. I really do consider it sacred. So with your more long-term goals, for example, if you want to be a millionaire within 5 years, you may have that as a 5-year goal. That also has to, of course, tie in with your 3-year goal. So what stepping stone are you going to reach after 3 years that's going to lead onto your eventual outcome after 5 years? So maybe after 3 years you might aim to have 500,000, and maybe after a year maybe 50,000 or 100,000. So this way, in looking at stepping stones of your more long-term goals, you can calibrate how you're realistically progressing. Another important factor is to know when you're off course and how to adjust your actions to recalibrate, to get back on track. And sometimes there is some ego to overcome with this, because we can invest ourselves in being right, and to overcome that, and as Dr. Paul Dobransky talks about, having observing ego, which is the ability to be able to step outside of ourselves, be emotionally impartial, and to look at a situation and to honestly gauge, is this good for me? Am I acting in my own best interest? Is what I'm doing a stepping stone on the way to my goal in this instance? And to honestly assess your actions. So this really takes emotional maturity, and it's another good example of one of the aspects of character that is developed as a result of goal setting. Another area that I'll briefly touch on is time management, or perhaps more accurately, to maximize the effectiveness of use of your time. Some of you may have heard of the 80-20 rule, otherwise known as the Pareto principle. So the 80-20 principle states that 80% of the effectiveness of something will come from 20% of our effort. With the 80-20 rule applied to goals, 80% of our progress that we make is done within 20% of the time that we invest in our effort. So we need to analyse what's the most practical, powerful and directly impactful use of your time, and do more of what helps you attain your dreams. Eliminate as much as you can of the activities that don't positively serve you, and expand upon what impacts your life in a positive way. So to study our effectiveness within the 20% of the Pareto principle, we need to understand that our habits drive our behaviour. And so analysing, recognising our habits is very beneficial and is key to our forward motion with our success in life, whether it be goal-based or just the general way that we go through life. So when we alter our bad habits and replace them with more productive ones, this sets up what's called a win response in our brains, leading us to feeling more positive and self-empowered, which has an accumulative effect. Brian Tracy talks about the application of the Pareto principle, and he says that 80% of the reasons that we're not attaining our goals yet are internal, and only 20% are external. So the work that we do within our self-image and our paradigms, our beliefs, is of utmost importance. So some of the external factors would be taking action and eliminating procrastination. It's all well and good to have a positive outlook, but that really needs to be backed up by action. And if you set yourself up to win, as in you know your strengths and weaknesses and you play to your strengths when you're setting your goals, then you have a greater chance of succeeding with them. One of the mistakes that I've made in the past with goals is setting the bar too high too soon. So it's good to not limit yourself too much, but at the same time, you should ensure that your goals are achievable. Otherwise, setting them can actually have a negative effect, because at the back of your mind, if you don't feel that it is achievable, then it's going to have the opposite effect. So once you think that your goals are achievable, you should accurately and honestly assess where you're at now. Obviously, for any journey, you need to know your destination, but also your start point. A good acronym that a friend of mine told me last week was to make your goals SMART, and that stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, realistic, and T, timed. Really big key factor in achieving your goals is determining what additional knowledge and skills you will need to work on to achieve your outcomes. Knowledge is such an important factor in us succeeding, and in order to achieve something that you've never achieved before, you obviously have to do some things that you've never done before. As the saying goes, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Embrace new skills, new knowledge, and new behaviour. So with each goal, ask yourself, what single skill or action would help me the most to achieve my goal? I write that down on a separate list, and I repeatedly ask myself those questions until the goal has been attained. So everybody needs help and assistance to achieve their goals. Work out who you will need to help you. It may be a mentor or a coach, a teacher, maybe a friend just to give you honest feedback and support. If you want to learn Spanish, for example, it would help to get a Spanish teacher. Maybe spend some time in a Spanish-speaking country, watch some Spanish films with subtitles on to immerse yourself within the diction and the pronunciation of the language and the culture. With friends that help you, see what you can do to also contribute to their life and their goals to enhance their life. It's said that we can judge ourselves by our friends. If you look at your closest 10 friends and you take their average income, their average health, their average happiness, etc., there's a very good chance that that reflects your level too. So in life, like truly does attract like. Be mindful of who you surround yourself with. The general mindset and beliefs of your social circle play such a key role in your life. Okay, so as an overview, once you've established a list of your goals, written a paragraph for each stating your compelling reasons why you want to achieve them, you've set a deadline, or you've stated that you will work on them on a daily basis, and you've aligned the goals with your beliefs so that you've ensured that you truly believe that you deserve the outcome of the goal. And with your bigger goals, you've broken them down into more manageable sub-goals of 3 years and 1 year, and you've ascertained how you'll know when you're on course to succeed. You've decided what new skills you'll need in order to achieve your goals and who you'll need to help you. Then you need to tie everything together so you have a specific plan for each goal. I have 3 lists. One is just a bullet point list of each of the goals that I can look at any time. I keep that with me wherever I am. The second list is a list of my goals with a paragraph on each that really goes into depth as to why I want and deserve each goal. And then the third list is based upon what Tony Robbins calls a map, a massive action plan. So in order for you to get from point A to point B, you will need a map. And this massive action plan is a list of one action for each goal that is the most immediate thing that I can do to bring myself a step closer to each goal. And by nature, some of those will be more easily achievable than others. And as soon as I've accomplished one of those actions, I'll just ascertain what the next logical step is and replace it with that. And I'll keep doing that until I've achieved the goal. Having that immediate plan in front of you at all times that keeps evolving really keeps the momentum at the front of your mind. And as Detective Columbo would say, just one more thing. When I set my goals, I like to suspend my disbelief and really tap into my dreams when I was a kid growing up. Obviously, I'm not going to be a spaceman and play for Manchester United and be a cowboy all at the same time. I still have those as goals between me and you. But it's the essence behind those, the ability to dream. So it's not so much the specifics, the outcomes, it was the spirit behind that, the ability to dream openly without fear. And I constantly ask myself, how can I tap into that now? I really want to be the adult that the child that I was would be proud of. If I was to meet myself as a kid now, would that kid look at me and think that guy's cool? Well, I hope so. Okay, so just to conclude, you establish your goals, you think of the category, write a paragraph for each of those goals stating a really compelling, emotive reason why you want them, why you deserve them. Set a time frame or make a daily affirmation that every day you will just get better and improve. And continually write down immediate actions that will facilitate the precise next step in your goal achievement. Write down for each goal how you'll know when you've achieved each goal. What are the specifics that you can measure the achievement of that particular goal by? And what new skills and knowledge will you need in order to achieve your goals? And finally, who will you need to help you to achieve each of your goals? So I really hope that your goals enhance the quality of your life immeasurably, and your happiness, whether it be emotional, mentally and spiritually, physically. And I honestly hope that you live a life that inspires you and others. I hope that you live a life that takes you to a whole new level of fun, abundance, experience, growth. So please keep in touch and share your own goals and journey with me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/positively charged information. And on there you'll find daily updates of some of my favourite positive quotes, and I'll also put the bullet points from all the aspects of goal setting that I've mentioned today. And thank you so much for listening, and take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.